What's up everyone, Tim here from Everyday Tactical Vids. Hope you're doing well. Thanks as always for checking out our videos. Today we're looking at a product from ZeroHour. Their website is ZerohourXD.com. This is their ZeroHour tactical flashlight and battery backup. Lots of features, lots of things to talk about when it comes to this flashlight, and basically this entire flashlight system is what I should actually call it. I want to give a shout out to Aaron over at ZeroHour. Great guy. We've been chatting on email quite a bit and then had a chance to chat on the phone, and it looks like I'll have a chance to meet up both Aaron and Amy, who are the two folks in charge over at ZeroHour, when we get together at SHOT Show 2015. So looking forward to getting a chance to chat with them and then bringing you some more info about ZeroHour and where they're going in the future. So let's talk about this flashlight, what it has to offer, and some of the different features. I think you're going to be quite impressed. Now, I don't often talk about the box of a product unless there's something worth mentioning, but even the packaging on this is just, it's put together very nicely. So here's some of the information. 1000 max lumens up to 10,000 mAh backup power, lithium ion batteries, 6 modes up to 165 hours, mobile device charger, and it says IPX8 waterproof. We'll talk about the degree to which it's waterproof in a moment. And even when you open this up, let me show you here. It's just, I mean, the whole thing is put together really nicely. So ZeroHour there, it says the most versatile tactical flashlight with battery backup ever created. So this is, they've definitely put a lot of time and effort, even just how the whole system looks when you get a hold of it. Here's the side, here's the other side. So just to give you a sense as we start off, these guys are not messing around, very serious about how they're going to even present their product. Alright, now I know I said I don't talk about the boxes that often, but even as I just flipped it over, just in passing, all the product specs here, they talk about products in use. So a fully charged ZeroHour with 10,000 mAh of battery capacity can charge, and it lists all these different things: iPhones, iPads, Samsung Galaxy. Here's model comparison between some of the different ZeroHour products and what's included in this actual pack. So they're giving you a ton of information. Let's take a look at what you actually get in this setup. Okay, what do you get with your actual ZeroHour flashlight setup? You get the flashlight. You get this end cap, which is removable, so you can take out the charging unit, which is in the back here, and we'll talk about that in a moment. You get these 3 end caps, including this one, which you can see there are a couple holes in that, so you can attach a carabiner or some paracord through there. You do get this cord, which one end is going to go into the back of the charging unit, and then this is a USB input here, so you can put it in, charge it in a computer if you want to. You can plug this end into the back of the battery unit, and then this end into the wall charger and charge it on the wall. And then you actually have your carrying bag here. You also get 3 batteries, which I already have housed in there. You do get a couple other things. You get this lanyard from ZeroHour with a little clip there, and then you get one of these backpacks with the, the strings basically that you're gonna just throw on your back to carry some of your gear around. But just a ton of stuff that you get with the ZeroHour setup, and we haven't even got to talking about how the flashlight functions and works and all that, but you're gonna get plenty of things to mess around with if you like to tinker with different gear. This will be fun for you to get a hold of one of these. What we're doing now is looking at the back end of the flashlight. So what you have here, you can see these 4 different little sections. Those light up, so as you're charging your ZeroHour flashlight, the 3 batteries which are inside this unit, show you that in a moment, you can tell when it's fully charged, when it's in the process of charging. They'll light up blue, and then when it's fully charged, this whole little battery section will be completely lit up. What you can see here are 2 USB inputs, and that's a way to charge various items. So say you have an iPhone with you, and you plug your USB input from your iPhone charger into this end, and then the other end is your iPhone. Now you can charge up your iPhone. You also have an on-off switch here, which will basically you can shut down the entire unit, and then if you want to plug in that cord I showed you before into here, it goes right in this hole here, and then you actually are charging up the batteries for your ZeroHour. When you separate the head of the flashlight from the body, this is what it's going to look like, and then you're going to slide out this, which you can see are 3 different batteries. 1, 2, 3. And so when you actually want to charge your batteries, you're going to make sure that they're in here. I will remind you, or I will tell you, that when you get this set up, there is a little piece of paper in right at the top here of your batteries. So you're gonna, if you try to plug it in and charge it, it's not going to charge. You got to take the batteries out, get that paper out of the way, and then you can go ahead and charge it up. Once it's all charged, you're going to actually slide it back into this unit. And you can see what that looks like. Then you're going to attach this to here, put the end cap on, and you're ready to go. So here's what the flashlight looks like when it's all assembled in its kind of most basic setup. So Here's your end where the light is going to come out, obviously, and then here's the other end, and you can see this is set up now so I could still, I could use the flashlight, this could be on, and I could actually be charging something on the back end here. Let me show you a bunch of the different setups that you can have. Again, this is kind of 101 for your 0 hour flashlight, and you can see it's a big hefty light. This is not something you're just going to throw in your pocket, but this is something you could keep in your car. You could keep, this will definitely be going in my nightstand, so if I hear anything that goes bump in the night and I need a good flashlight, this is going to be coming out with me. And also if the power goes out, now I know exactly where it is. It's going to be in my nightstand. Alright, so setup number 1, this is what it looks like. Let's show you a couple different options. Here's setup number 2. Looks a lot like the last setup, other than the fact that on the end cap you can see this is a completely covered end cap, so none of the electronics are exposed. This does have an O-ring, so when you crank this one down and then make sure that the head is attached to the body properly, this is now going to be watertight. So you have this out in the rain or whatever the case may be, no problem, it's going to keep the water out. Setup number 3 looks very similar, other than once again the end cap has been swapped out. Now we have the end cap on that's got the holes in it, so you can attach a carabiner, some paracord, whatever the case may be. And again, a reminder, this is sealed because it has an O-ring here and here. You can still have this out in the water or even partially underwater and no issues whatsoever. We're taking the setup to a new level now. You can see I've taken the end cap off here and the electronics are exposed. I also have essentially another body unit which you can buy separately, and with the correct attachments you can attach this body unit onto here and make it just a lot larger of a flashlight. We'll show you the way you can store some different things in there, but it's going to end up being like one of those old school big mag lights that the police would carry or keep in their car. Let's show you what that one looks like now. So what you're looking at is the original flashlight unit with a connector unit, and this is basically sealed here and sealed here. So the electronics are sealed safely in this portion of the flashlight. This section is sealed, and then down to the bottom this is hollow inside here, and then I put this particular end cap on so I could put the clip through it. Since this is empty down here, you could put waterproof matches in there, you could put a fire starting kit, you could put all kinds of different things that you might want inside this section, and now you've got quite a big flashlight. So end to end you're looking at just about 12 inches. So you got the size of one of those old school mag lights that the police used to carry, but now in a brand new LED high power unit. We'll certainly show you what the power of the light and the different settings look like. We haven't even got to talk about how the light works yet, and we're already showing you just a ton of features for the ZeroHourXD flashlight. Now when it comes to using your 0 hour to charge other items, very easy to do. You get these little tabs here on the end. There's 2 of them, so you can charge 2 things at once with a USB input. These are not attached. Sometimes these have a little, tail on them and they're attached to the main unit on something. Not the case for this, so make sure when you take the tab out you don't lose it. But then you plug the USB into this end. Now it's plugged into my iPhone, and on the end here there's a little button you press to actually turn on the unit so it will charge. You press it and now you can see my phone is charging. Alright, we're out here in the testing grounds for all my flashlights, which is the backyard. We're looking off in the distance, we're looking at the fence essentially, and then you can see some street lights way off there and some house lights off to the right. So let me show you the different settings. We have 4 different settings for this. We have low setting, which is 20 lumens, and we have 400, 800, and 1000. And then when you tap the switch again, it'll go back to the lowest setting. Now if you double tap, you're going to get into the strobe setting, and then if you double tap again, you're going to get into the SOS setting. One more time, boom, boom, and boom. And then back to the 20, 4, 8, 1000. So let's talk about the throw of this. You're talking about 500 meters for the throw of this flashlight. As far as your burn time, we're talking 6 hours on the highest setting and 90 hours on your lowest setting. So charge this baby up and you're good to go. Now I'm in my backyard looking out here from the porch. Obviously you can see very clearly, this is at the 800 lumen setting. You can see that white fence, you can see the brown fence of my garden, you can see the little shed. It's actually so bright it's hard to see in the camera, but the shed that's off the back of the garage, and as I turn the camera just slightly here, that's a beam right in front of me, but you can see quite easily the rest of the fence over there. And I'll tell you, quite honestly, when I shine this into the corner over there, I can see, I would say, about 75% of the entire yard, which once again goes from there all the way over to here. So you're getting a lot of light when you put this on. Again, this is at the 800 setting. There's the 1000. When it's on the lowest setting, I'm lighting up, I would say, about 30% of the yard. Here, pretty confidently about 45 or 50%. And then there's the 800, and then at 1000. And I'm able to see the entire yard quite easily when I have the light on this setting. Now, when I wrap up a review, I usually like to offer kind of the downsides and the upsides to the different items I've been talking about. So for this one, there's not a ton of downsides. I'll tell you, one major downside for people is going to be your price point. You're talking about $225. However, when you hear that, you might go, oh, that's so much for a flashlight. But these guys are trying to press into, the same areas that like a Surefire company is pressing into. So they're not just out there for the average guy who wants to get a flashlight, throw it in his pocket or throw it in his backpack and head out into the woods. This is a high-end deal. And you can see there's just so many features that make it a high-end flashlight. So $225 is actually, if you're really into flashlights, you're a collector, or you want something that's just really nicely made, this is going to be something you definitely want to check out. The two other downsides I would say, which are very minor, one is the fact that the cap doesn't have the anti-roll feature. So because the head of your light is all round, if you put it on a round table, it's going to start rolling. I contacted Aaron over at ZeroHour, and he let me know they're already working on that. It should they should have a 6-sided bezel essentially that you'll be able to use, and that'll keep it from rolling. So they've already dealt with that. The other thing, it's not a major downside, but it does make me a little nervous that when you take the end caps off to charge something, that you might lose those. Actually, when I took it out, I thought, oh, that's great. Now it's not hanging and in the way as I'm trying to plug something in. The downside is, though, is if you do this, say, outside or at night, you take it out, you drop that thing, it may be hard to find. That's the downside. There's tons of upsides. Let's talk about some of those. So some of your upsides, you have 4 different light settings. I like that. A very low setting that you can use for a very long time, and then it goes up to 1000 lumens. You do have the ability to charge things. That's just fantastic. The fact that you can have, I just think it's really creative to think about, you've got your light and then you got your storage unit here. So I'm going to try to figure out what are the best items to keep in that. This is not going to be a wilderness survival tool for me as much as something I'm going to keep in the house for, an emergency setup. If the lights go out, power goes out, whatever the case may be. Also, if something goes bump in the night and I got to go find out what's going on, I've got a high power flashlight, and it's big enough that I could use it as a self-defense tool if the case ever presented itself. Another cool feature is you can swap out this silver section here and the silver, basically your bezel there, and it comes in a lot of different colors. So you can, just set it up as you want it. There's green, there's red, there's a bunch of different options out there. So that's cool that they even give you that option. There are a bunch of other features that I haven't spoken about, just some kind of, features that for most people they're not super interested in, but it's worth noting if you're really into that kind of nitty-gritty stuff on flashlights. This does have an automatic power down option when you're charging something, so it doesn't waste the battery. It's got a prevention feature, so you're not going to overcharge your batteries. So just a bunch of little things like that that make this a very thoughtful product. And having spoken with Aaron, I'm looking forward to meeting up with him at SHOT Show this upcoming January and talking about some future projects that they're already involved in. This flashlight, like many other products that we reviewed here on Everyday Tactical Vids, is available over at our Amazon store, so I want to encourage you to check that out. Thanks as always for checking out our videos here on YouTube. Please subscribe to Everyday Tactical Vids if you haven't done so already. Like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, check us out on Instagram and Tumblr as well. Take care.